y'all, what's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia. Welcome to the channel. So yes, I have been gathering a whole bunch of information about the Cyrus Rick whole situation, the crime, everything, the videos, people talking about it. Now we got a whole Asian versus the blacks going online. I'm going to talk about it right now. We're going to get into it. So the first video I'm going to show is Cyrus Carmack-Belton's parents speak after Rick Chow acquitted of murder. So let me go ahead and play this video for you guys, and we're going to get into it.
For Cyrus Carmack-Belton's Rick Chow, a verdict of not guilty. For Cyrus Carmack-Belton's family, a verdict they never thought possible. The ex-store clerk was charged in May 2023 for the shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton.
I am devastated. I cannot believe that the jury came back with a not guilty.
Jurors deliberated for roughly 8 hours, sending the judge 4 questions, including one asking for clarification of South Carolina's definition of malice, a key element prosecutors needed to prove murder.
Just because somebody's killed, that does not necessarily mean that they were murdered under the law. So that's the situation here. It's tragic.
Attorney Carl B. Grant, not involved in the case, says the jury's questions suggest they were working through both the facts presented at trial and how those facts fit into state law. The racially diverse jury had only 2 options, guilty or not guilty of murder. No lesser included charge, like manslaughter, was presented.
Everybody has to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you can present a very convincing and compelling argument as to why the jury should not convict, then of course, if they buy that argument, the person can be acquitted.
Carmack-Belton's parents say they're left with even more questions now.
This is like another setback for young black males, black and brown males everywhere. It's just like you just can't get justice nowhere. You can't see it any other way.
My son was running away. He was shot in the back. I tried to have faith in the justice system, but they have failed Cyrus. They failed my baby.
And Chow, through his attorneys, declined to comment today. Nick Neville, WIS News 10.
Okay, so you just heard that, and there's something I'm gonna see if I can find the video, but I noticed that the lawyers been talking online. They've been uploading videos and stuff on YouTube, and they were talking about how this case was actually all done wrong. You're going to hear that several times when people are talking about who the jurors were, because apparently some people thought they were all white. They were not. There was only one Asian person. Hint, hint. You'll hear about it later on. It was very odd. They just said that there wasn't enough right evidence to prove, they charged him for something of murder. He wasn't charged for manslaughter. I want to see if I can find that. But before I do, let me read this. I want to read this. This is like a statistics, because I want people to start researching and looking up things and stop, just talking behind people. Like, go educate yourself a little bit. I do it myself all the time. When I make a mistake, I try to go research it to see if I can fix that mistake, if I made a mistake in the video. One of the things is that a lot of people think that a lot of Asians, I'll say this, I'm speaking to the ones that are prejudiced, the ones that are racist. Not all Asian people are like Rick Chow and his family. Let's put that very clear. I'm talking to the ones that are prejudiced stereotype of black people. So I'm gonna read this because they're scared that they're gonna come in and rob them and harm them, this, that, and the third. So it says, during the COVID-19 pandemic, reports of violence against Asian Americans surged in traditional and social media, often depicting an Asian victim attacked by a black assailant and suggesting heightened black animosity toward Asian Americans. Scholars have challenged this black-Asian conflict narrative by highlighting that white perpetrators commit over 75% of anti-Asian hate crimes. Okay? This is not me saying this. This is statistics. You can Google this all day long. It still comes up as you can go to different articles all day long, and it would tell you the same thing. Says fact sheet, anti-Asian hate, dispelling the myth of the black perpetrator. This is what this is about. Because people fear black people is going to harm them once they come into their establishment. Just want to put that out here. This is what we need to be discussing more. And that's what people are talking about online. Anti-Asian hate refers to action, speech, or behavior that is motivated by hostility, opposition, dislike, or bias against individual of Asian descent. Why is there an overrepresentation of black perpetrators in the media? Security camera videos are more available and prevalent in low-income urban areas where more people of color reside. Anti-black sentiment in Asian American communities help these videos go viral both domestically and abroad. News tends to overreport on black perpetrators more than perpetrators of other race, which is very true. I've talked about this on this channel before. There is no evidence to suggest that the main perpetrators of anti-Asian hate are black. The majority of perpetrators are identified as male and white in upwards of 75% of news stories when the perpetrator race is known. This is another different article. This is .org. I'm gonna start showing the freaking website as well when I'm looking this up. This is another different article from the other one. The hate, and it's called the Virulent Hate Project, found that in 2020, in 89.6% of news stories about anti-Asian hate, perpetrators identify as white. The data is consistent with a previous study reviewing data from 1992 to 2014, in which 75% of perpetrators of anti-Asian hate were white. Become an ally. Solidarity reading lists combine anti-blackness resources, what people get wrong about anti-Asian hate. So this was a conversation that was going on after 2020. It was during 2021 when it said stop the Asian hate. It was people were coming out talking about, they were showing videos of black people mostly putting hands on Asian people. So a lot of Asian people, it brought up the more stereotype of black people. Oh, they're all criminals. And I remember being on Red Note, and one of the things that was brought out on Red Note when I see the Chinese, because you can translate their words, they were saying that they did not knew that black people were like this. They did not knew that black people were shed in a different light. Also, I have to say that the Black Panther movie in 2018, that opened a lot of people's eyes around the globe about black people, because we have had bad representation of us for so long that other people around the globe, they feel that we are enemies. We are their enemy, which, as you can see with these results, we are not their enemies. It's the other way around. Somebody else, honey. It's not us. So I want to bring that part out. So as I was telling you, defense lawyer speaks after jury acquits Rick Chow murder. Young people need to learn. We need to. I want to play this first. I don't know who this is. Megan Kunoff. She uploaded it. Let's play this.
On behalf of the Chows, we're very pleased at the jury's deliberations and their verdict. We think it was the appropriate verdict in this case, although it was a difficult decision to come to, because you have two different stories, extreme differences. You have, on the one hand, Mr. Chow, who we always contended was defending his son. He was not trying to hurt the young man. On the other side, you had the young man who had a semi-automatic pistol and pulled it. And our position is he pointed it at Andy Chow, and his father had to defend his son. And it's tragic. Feel sorry for.
I will be showing that tape. There was no gun pointed. I still don't understand this part, and this is where everybody is kind of weirded out. Like, what are we talking about here? There was no gun pointed. So I'm gonna show you that tape later on.
The family, as I said during my opening statement, my heart goes out to them, but 14-year-old kids should not be roaming the streets of Columbia or South Carolina with semi-automatic pistols loaded and ready to fire.
Are you at liberty to talk about what you think was the difference that made this verdict come to your favor?
The difference?
Yeah, what do you think struck the jury?
Well, I think the difference was this. Andy Chow was following him out of the store and down the street. We always took the position that Rick Chow, the defendant, that was not his objective. His objective was he was going to protect his son, and that's what happened. So we tried to separate the two different issues. One from Andy Chow, who was following him down the street. There'll be a discharge issued, and we expect that he'll be released sometime tonight. It may be a couple of hours, but he'll be released.
Okay, y'all can go watch that yourself. So we're just going to watch a little bit of Lawyer You Know. Go check him out. I'm just going to watch half of it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Lawyer You Know. And today we are taking a look at a trial that just ended. And here is how it was framed to me in the very first question I ever got about this case. How is it possible a grown adult male can chase a 14-year-old boy out of his convenience store and shoot him in the back, and yet a jury finds him not guilty of the crime charged? So today, we're going to take a look at Rick Chow's case and figure out how the jury possibly came to their verdict. This is a brutally sad story where a 14-year-old victim named Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shot outside a convenience store / gas station by the owner of that gas station, Rick Chow. We're going to call him Rick Chow throughout. And Rick Chow was charged with murder. And his defense was self-defense of others. So there's so much more to this story than may meet the eye. But when it was initially explained, and you hear the initial factual explanation of what happened that day, and you also see this surveillance from that gas station.
And that's the one we're going to see next. Law and Crime. Shout out to them because they had the whole video. I mean, they showed where the person was clicking from one button to the next. There was no gun pointed at nobody. She was just confronting. Shout out to Law and Crime.
You see how this seems
y'all
like
see
a
that?
very unlikely self-defense case, because the victim is seen sprinting out of the store, even if he stole a $1 bottle of water. That does not give justification for the store owner to go out and execute him, which from the prosecution's theory of this case and a lot of the eyewitnesses seems to be exactly what happened. So he was arrested and charged and went to trial. And in the trial, the prosecution's theory is basically Mr. Chow did not care about the victim, Cyrus. And a lot of the background on Cyrus was he was generally a good 14-year-old kid. And this was a really, really sad story. But the first twist comes in when even the prosecution has to admit that, yes, Cyrus, the victim, had a firearm. Now, where was it? What was he doing with it? How did we get into this situation or scenario? That's where the stories differ and the stories change. But that's the first big twist that makes me think, okay, maybe there's more to this self-defense angle for the defense. And we continue to hear about what happened that day. They show the surveillance. He pulls some waters out of the shelf, puts some waters back, acting strange. He's confronted by the Chows. The whole family's there, basically. Mr. Chow, Mrs. Chow, and the son, Andy Chow, who's going to become a big character in this story. And they seem to think that Cyrus stole a bottle of water. Cyrus says he did not. He walks out of the store. Andy Chow and Rick Chow, the father, chase him out of the store. And you can see Rick Chow grabbing something on the surveillance on his way out of the store to chase down Cyrus. And Cyrus is seen running, fleeing, and they chase after him. So much of that is good for the state, good for their angle, good for their theory that this was an intentional homicide. When the state's expert was on the stand and explained how the bullet entered Cyrus's back, it was pretty compelling testimony that this seemed like you were shooting somebody in the back. It could not possibly be self-defense. And the prosecutor had like a little red dot on his white shirt to show exactly the way the bullet traveled. And then when he explained it in closing argument, it was, again, very compelling. Through the back, hit the lungs, I believe also hit his heart. Incredibly sad. Some of the eyewitness testimony of what Cyrus did after he was shot. Incredibly sad. Trying to get up. Also, the eyewitness testimony for the state, and something the state really highlighted in closing, and they talked about it in opening as well, is everybody not named Chow. None of them are going to say they saw Cyrus pull a firearm and point it at somebody, or that anybody else would possibly be in fear for their lives except for Cyrus. who the state actually argued he was probably acting in self-defense. Anything he was doing, he would have been within his right to do so, because he had two grown men, one who was armed, chasing after him after he maybe did nothing wrong, or this was not justified even if he would have taken a $1 bottle of water. And the eyewitnesses for the state explained it in kind of the way the state was saying, enough so that the state could continue that argument. But I thought the defense attorneys did a really good job impeaching some of these witnesses with the inconsistencies of their statement, how their statements had changed from when they initially told law enforcement what they saw.
You remember telling the officer on the body footage that you watched the shot through your car mirror, through your rearview mirror?
No.
You do not remember that?
No.
And if I was to find testimony or anything, you would dispute saying that to anyone that day?
I don't remember that.
Somehow it got much clearer and better for the state as time went on, for them to be able to use that this was an intentional homicide and Cyrus was doing nothing wrong. And the state also argued that the defense would continue to try and paint Cyrus as some young thug or some thug to be or thug wannabe.
I asked the officer, again, about the suspicious behavior. That 24 hours, less than 24 hours before he came into the store, he posted this on his social media. Do you remember? I asked him about it. And not only was it this was a clip from a video in which he was pointing a gun at a screen with a laser and a flashing light.
But also this clip from closing will show you they struggled the entire case to explain why Cyrus would have a loaded firearm in his backpack.
But again, we live in America, and to take that one step further, Cyrus and I grew up in the South. And we were blessed to grow up in the South, weren't we? And guns are just a part of life, are they not? A gun leaning up in the corner when I was growing up was about as exciting as a cast iron skillet on the stove or a butcher knife in the sink. It's just part of our life. And whether that's good or bad, I'm not here to talk about that, but guns are prevalent and boys gravitate towards guns, whether that's good or not. Was Cyrus right in having a pistol in his pocket May 28th of 2023? No. Was it legal for Cyrus to have a pistol in his pocket May 28, 2023? No. Has anybody indicated that it was okay or legal or right? No. Did he deserve to die? Did he deserve to die?
And the defense leaned heavy into that. Why else would it happen unless he was going to use it? And when we get to the defense's theory of the case, it makes sense that if he had a loaded firearm, that starts to make you understand why somebody could be in fear of serious bodily harm. And the defense did paint this as a very, very sad and shocking story, but that the problem was the 14-year-old boy, and it is so sad that he lost his life, but the problem is he is walking around the streets with a loaded firearm, going into convenience stores.
And I want you to think what he said. I'm glad he brought that out. So you're going to hear that a lot in this video. People thought that it was justified for him to shoot him, even though the gun wasn't out. They are saying that because he had a weapon, because the story kept changing up. They said that he pointed the gun at the son. Then it changed to, oh no, it was in his pocket, and then it fell out when he was running as they shot him. So once they realized that he had a gun, excuse me, they kept changing the story. And what it was is for the owner to protect himself. You're going to hear people say, oh, he was protecting himself because he found out he had a gun. Yeah, that's what you mostly hear online. That's where the argument is coming online between Asian people and Black people. And it even has Asian versus Asian as well, because the Asian people, there are some that's taking sides with Black people, and there are some Asian people like, oh, well, the store owner was protecting himself. So you're going to really see that. And then you're also going to notice one thing where I said, you're going to hear me say that they are happy that the Black people and the white and the Asian people are fighting each other. We're going to find out who those they are. That's some Magna supporters online are giggling and laughing, think that this is all funny. Yeah, we're getting into it.
Broadcast with a follow-up to last night's not guilty verdict of Rick Chow, a day after he was acquitted of murdering 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. We saw reaction, or we're getting reaction, from the community. Our crews saw protesters gathered outside Chow's former gas station off of Park Lane Road in Columbia. Richland deputies also at the store now at this hour. They have been there since shortly after the verdict was announced last night. News 19's Whitney Sullivan speaking with criminal defense attorney John Mobley tonight. He was asked where does he believe things possibly broke down for the prosecution in presenting his case.
From opening statements, one of the vast contrasts that I saw between the prosecution and the defense, where I believe the prosecutors dropped the ball, is they didn't really do much to humanize the victim in the case. And I remember listening to both opening statements. And while the prosecutor, the solicitor, did mention he was 14 years old, that was kind of it. Had I been prosecuting that case, I would have talked about not only his age, but where he went to school, hey, what he liked to do for fun, what video games he liked. I would have wanted to bring him to life so the jurors could have some image of this young man, this life in their mind, and they just didn't do that. Something I would have done differently if I was a prosecutor, and I don't think that they really leaned into the fact that this teen was hunted. They talked about him being chased out of the store about a bottle of water. That was kind of their big theme. They kind of hung everything on that, all about a bottle of water. This teen was hunted. I mean, 130 yards. And I remember when, in opening statements, when they talked about that, one thing I thought was great was he described that it was that 130 yards would be the equivalent of a football field, goalpost to goalpost. Had I given that opening statement, I would have had that picture up there. I would have had a visual picture of a football field from goalpost to goalpost so the jury could see how far they hunted. These two grown men hunted this 14-year-old. And I would have used that word. I wouldn't have said chase, I would have said hunted. That's how I would have really portrayed this, and which I think is accurate, quite frankly. Now, on the flip side, the defense, in their opening statement, they talked about the defendant's credentials and how he came to America and how he built his business and his family. They gave the jury all this information to humanize this person. So, I mean, big difference. I think that made a big difference in the jury's mind because they can identify with one side more than the other.
Again, criminal defense attorney John Mobley with his opinion about what happened in this case. And new tonight, we're hearing from the Fifth Circuit solicitor Byron Gibson on the not guilty verdict. He did issue a statement late today saying that last night's verdict has brought on strong emotions from our local and national communities. He added that he's disappointed with last night's outcome and continues to believe that Chow's actions were not justifiable. However, he adds that he respects our criminal justice system and the jury's decision.
So this guy explained everything what happened at this gas station, right? Look at these people down here. 14-year-old stealing with a loaded gun. His parents should be in prison for many years. Somebody said innocent kid was killed for no apparent reason. He never stole anything, nor did he use a gun to commit a crime. Just crazy stuff. Somebody said people are not real in these comments because he didn't steal anything. He ran his life, and these bots are saying that he deserved to die because he was chased 100 yards away. And they say either he got tired of being chased and decided to use his Second Amendment right despite his age because he was chased by a mob who was armed or most likely killed down like a dog and planted a gun on him. And then this person here says, Rick Chow did nothing wrong. He was there to rob. Rick Chow has a right to defend his store, his property, and his life from the monster, and thankfully he did. We are all better off thanks to Chow doing what he did. Look at it. Read these comments. What proof was there that Cyrus was to rob the place? I would wait, but that would be total waste of time because there isn't any. He didn't steal anything, and he didn't even know about the gun until after Chow murdered him. Chow, his lying son, and investigative wife better run and hide, or they're going to assume the same fate. That man was trigger happy, and after shooting at 4 different people, he finally got a body. And they're so worried about people stealing about what about that tall black man with stuff in his hand by the counter who just walked out and left when that disgusting family all ran out of the store with the stuff still in his hands. They run after an innocent child while an adult man did steal item. Make that make sense. So there's another thing too, that there's a video of a man in the video who did steal the stuff. He was the one that ran off with it. That's what's been going around. It seemed like Seem like people are just happy. We're going to talk about this later about these comments. Child, you and that later on. Shout out to Law and Crime. I had to go look for the actual footage of the video to let you guys see. That's what I was looking for, and I found it. And this happened on May the 28th, 2023. So I just want to make sure the crime happened at May 20th, 2023, but the trial was I think one day ago, 2 days ago. Let me know. But the trial was this year. So let me play this for you guys. I'm gonna kind of like talk over it briefly. So there goes the guy that they were talking about. I think it's this guy here that they think that was him stealing. I'm not quite sure.
I'm going to go next to slide 3 of states number 4.
Slide 3. They've been watching him from the time he got into the store. Did y'all notice that? They've been watching him from the time he came in.
Next is slide 4 of states. Slide 4 of states number 4.
Yeah, the backpack. They've been watching. I just want you guys to notice that. Do you see the guy over here in the corner? He's watching them. She's kind of walking back there. Right,
Moving on to states 5. Slide 5 of states number 4. Slide 6 of states number 4.
The backpack was placed down on the ice.
Put down the backpack. Backpack needs to put on the ice cream chest.
Okay. Going on to slide 7 of states number 4.
On. I do notice this. Oh, let me skip over. about it was there was people accusing him of stealing in comments, which I don't see that, which I think that's very odd. Like, I mean, clearly he came to the counter to buy stuff, but I guess because the other people ran off, I guess he walked out because they ran after him, that young boy. So that's why I said I didn't understand. They claim that the guy in the black stole something. I don't. Oh my god. What's with all these black screens?
Investigator Jordan, while we're watching that, who is this woman that we're seeing right here on the screen?
Alice Chow.
Alice Chow?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other male we've seen in the videos with the hat on backwards too?
Andy Chow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's the whole family was watching. So when did Rick Chow came into the? That's what I'm trying to figure out. When did he came? Okay, so there he is. There he is. Rick
Who is
Chow.
that individual?
In the plaid shirt.
In the plaid shirt.
Rick Chow.
That's Rick Chow. Okay.
All right. Moving on to slide 10 of stage number 4.
Oh, so that's the other guy that they. Okay, go. Let me go back. So this is the guy that they were talking about. It wasn't the guy
Andy
in the
Chow.
all black. So there's another customer that came in here. He got all his stuff. He went to the counter. There's another guy over here. Look up here to the right. Not this guy in all black. There's another guy that comes up there. He has like a white symbol on his sweater. There's another guy that comes up there. That's what they're talking about. That's what the people are talking about. They said that he grabbed his stuff and went up here. And he walked right on out. They ran after the one boy.
Investigator Jordan.
This is very odd.
While we're watching that,
They're not
who is this
they're
woman
not
that
looking
we're
at
seeing
the
right here
other
in
guy,
this
but they're only
screen?
focusing on that.
Alice Chow.
The child.
Alice Chow?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other male we've seen in the videos with the hat on backwards too?
Andy Chow.
It's like they don't want no snuff with the older black men, but they're following the light skin, the young yellow person. See him right here? That's what the people were talking about in the corner with the glasses in there up there.
Who is that individual?
In the plaid shirt.
And the other guy just left. He was like,
Rick Chow.
I'm gonna leave too.
All right. Moving
That
on
was
to slide
crazy.
10 of stage number 4.
I thought they confronted him. So there's no video. Y'all, please don't tell me I saw an AI version of the confrontation. So I thought they confronted him.
Harper's next. Slide 11 goes, for now, goes slide 13 of states 4.
So he did put the water in his
Next is slide 14 of states 4.
So here's where it really is. I want people to really see what's going on. Okay, there it is. There's the video. I don't really see this guy having that either. Am I blind?
Let me ask you, investigator,
The guy.
you review the videos. Did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever brandish a firearm inside of 7441 Park Lane Road, the Shell gas station owned by Rick Chow?
He did not.
Did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever point a red laser that was attached to a Taurus pistol while he was in the Shell station at 7441 Park Lane Road?
He did not.
To your knowledge, has anybody ever said he did that?
It's in the store?
In the store?
No, no one.
I want to go down to slide 15 of states number 4.
Okay, I don't see anything in there. I don't see anything in there.
Next is slide 16 of states number 4.
Yeah, I don't see a bottle. I don't see a water bottle here. I'm not quite sure why he grabbed all those water bottles and he put them back. I don't know why he did that. Yeah, and they were saying that this guy in the back stole something in the comments. I don't see it either. Yeah, I don't really. That's what I wanted to see. Does anybody see it? I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he has
State 17, or slide 17 of states number 4.
You have one in your pocket. You have one in your pocket. One in your pocket.
So he has one in his pocket.
I don't got no water in my pocket, but I'll show you one. This is this one. No, it's a pizza. Hey, man. Take it in a pot. Go up.
Moving on to states, or slide 18 of states number 4. he agreed with it. There was multiple angles.
Okay, so there's a lot of different angles. So this is on Law and Crime. I'm gonna show you the people. I never subscribed to him. I need to subscribe to him. Law and Crime Trials. So it's showing you different angles. So it looked like he did had a water bottle in his pocket. So like I said, they had posted this like 7 days ago. I'm glad they did. So let's read some of these comments. Said, hurry up and buy. The crazy part is she looked just like the movie. Yeah, the hurry up and buy. I don't know if I should show that to you guys, but I'll show that to you guys. They all left the store unattended to get to this kid. Exactly, a kid with a gun. They didn't even know that he had it until he dropped when he fell. Learn how to contextualize events linearly. So the mother initiated, but they said that he didn't even have a gun. That's the thing. Nobody said that he had a gun until much later on. So the mother initiated thought that he had stolen something even after he placed his backpack down as she asked him to. So she placed that karma in her family by believing the young man had entered her strategy to steal from the very beginning. Sad. Exactly. That's what he was there to do the whole entire time. I said they were watching the whole entire time. I don't know if he had a water bottle or not, but it looked like he didn't. He looked like he put it all back. So why was he there if not to steal? I didn't see him buy nothing. He steals a drink at 31:59. So it was. Somebody said so. It was their fault. He was stealing. Maybe she thought he was stealing because. But nobody's talking about how you get shot when you get steal. No, you don't get shot when you get steal. You call the police. They are also worried about him, but that would be even more worse, to be honest with you. They are also worried about him taking a water that they all run out the store, leaving it untended for everyone else to steal something. Make it make sense. I think this is what people were saying, was they all ran out the store because he stole a water bottle, allegedly. And they left the store unattended. I think that's what everybody was saying. Yeah, that's why I was thinking the same thing. What do you say about my mama? You feel sorry for who? What? You say you bought the bottle of beer. Yeah, y'all are so weird. Yeah, don't be a menace at society. That's what it is. They actually talk about this.
All right, so my issue ain't what happened inside the store. It's what happened after. I understand Asian store owners in certain neighborhoods go through a lot. Theft, disrespect, all types of shit. I seen it firsthand. But it didn't seem like that was the case here. Once Cyrus left the store, should have been over with. At that point, he wasn't an immediate threat. He walked away. If someone steals a bottle of water, a snack, or maybe even something more expensive, is it really worth chasing somebody down a couple blocks, risking your life and theirs?
That's the point that a lot of people were trying to bring out. If it's a bottle of water, because I even said too, that's just a little too extreme to shoot somebody over a bottle of water. And they're trying to say he had a gun pointed at the son. There's no gun pointed. We all looking at it. There was no gun pointed. Where did that came from? You shooting somebody over a bottle of water? That's crazy. And then people said they left the store unattended to go run down to shoot him. Everybody could have went in and go steal and run out. Like, it's just crazy.
It was reported that he didn't even steal anything. To me, in situations like this, when somebody leaves, you call the police. You check the cameras. You do it the right way. If owning a store in the neighborhood makes you so angry that you're ready to chase a kid down the street for a bottle of water, then maybe you in the wrong neighborhood. Protecting yourself is one thing. Pursuing somebody is a whole different thing. A bottle of water, that could be replaced. But a life, that can't. This dude was wrong, man, regardless of what. Rest in peace, Cyrus, and I wish their family the best. My condolences.
And this is what they say. This is what people need to understand. I've actually talked about Stop Asian Hate. This goes both ways. A lot of time people attack Asian people because they do believe that all of you Asian people are prejudiced. Y'all stereotype black people. This is why people are ready on guard to attack you guys. And this is an example of that. This is an example of that. I'm gonna read these comments. Oh God. Like this guy said, at the end of the day, I stand for what's right. It doesn't matter what race the people are. Of course, I will always take a stand for my people, but I also hold ourselves accountable when we are wrong. And I don't give a F who doesn't like it. And then somebody down here said, all I see online are Asian acting like Magnum. I'm going to talk about that afterwards. I've seen nothing but dehumanizing comments and racism from the Asian community. Look, the effing comments justifying killing a kid that was no threat. Maybe he's not guilty of murder 1, but he's damn sure guilty of murder 3, and a 4th-rate lawyer would have gotten him a manslaughter charge easily. Thank you for speaking up, Matt. The truth has no race, and it's important to know a lot of Asian people are victims of violence, but the majority of the comes from racist white people. That's the truth. Whether you people who disagree in comments like it or not. Thank you at China Mac for putting this out there. Peace. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but it's going slow. But yeah, everybody was talking about this, and they said that no, this needs to something needs to be done. A lot of people are agreeing like things, so he needs justice. I saw all the I saw everything what I need to do. I'm gonna put a link because we did a reaction to the video. I'm gonna put that link down there so people can see it. Because what I want to know was if he had a gun and if he stole something. It doesn't look like he stole anything because it looks like he put the water back. That's what it looked like. I think he changed his mind and he left because he saw them. They were looking at him. Once people start eyeballing me in a store, I walk right out immediately. That is what I do. We need to teach our kids that immediately. If somebody's eyeballing them, they need to walk out immediately. Don't even walk through the store because this is ridiculous. And there is people saying this. This is what people are saying. There is people saying.
Oh, y'all running like our black ass up. Oh, that's dude's 19. Oh, hell no. Okay. I hope she got that on camera. We still gonna burn the store down. Fuck! It's really, I'm sorry, man. It's not kids who understand.
These are a bunch.
Well, I am gonna play some videos from some people's channels. Shout out to all these people on Instagram. I'm gonna play some videos and read some things. So let me go ahead and first start off with them. The video might be cut up because I made some errors on my video. So let's start off with this. So it says, I think this is AI generated, by the way, that photo. You got some people are up bringing up old clips. So this is an old clip, I believe. It says, is weighing in on resurfaced clip of an Asian man who challenged Black communities to boycott Asian-owned businesses, arguing that many Black consumers rely heavily on those businesses for everyday goods and service. Rather than expressing outrage, Mason, whatever his name is, said he found the comments motivating. According to him, if people are openly saying they do not need Black consumers, then the response should be ownership, investment, and building more business within Black communities. He went on to say that hearing those views should encourage Black people to create and support their own institutions rather than depend on others. Do you agree? Do you agree with my son's perspective? And I think a lot of people misunderstood what some people were saying about this. People were literally saying, we do need to have more of our business, which I've said that. We do need to have our own, we need to have more businesses. And when we do have our business, we need to support SUPPORT. Because I'm sorry, some Black people do not support other Black people. Just saying. We do need to support each other and we do need to have our own businesses.
He says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the Black culture and the hip hop culture. Where do you think that's made it? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the nation?
That's
3
nice.
years ago. Yeah. Let them break away. I'd say I would turn it around and say we should break away from them. Let them go. But they have to go in all their sports and see how fun it is to play baseball and softball and track when it's just the 20 of you. And that's what I think we should do. But I'm one person, and that's probably a little more draconian. But that's how I feel about it. Like, let's quit talking about it. Quit threatening it.
First of all, I would like to thank this Asian man and this white man for giving me the energy, the motivation that it takes to do our own shit. Like, if you're not motivated by this, as a Black man, if you're not listening to these people directly tell you they don't want you, and they dare you to do your own shit, if it's not motivating you to say, okay, now we getting on board. Because sometimes you need to hear it. Sometimes you think this and that. But these people are directly telling you they don't need your money and they don't want your money. They don't need your resources.
3 years ago. Yeah.
They don't need your athletic ability. They don't need, let y'all go do your own shit and see how it works out. I want to see how it works out. I believe so much in black people that I believe that it's going to work out for the best. And I think this is what we need. We need to hear it. We need to hear these people tell us, we don't really give a fuck about you or what you have. It doesn't really add value to us. We utilize it, cool. But if you're not here, we don't give a fuck. We have our own shit. We building our own shit. We got our own shit, and we don't need y'all. So hopefully y'all as motivated as I am to get our own shit. Because I love to hear that. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to this Asian man and this white man for motivating me. Hopefully it motivates us to get on our good foot and do the shit we supposed to do for us. Because ain't nobody going to save us and ain't nobody going to help us. The only people going to help us is us.
I agree wholeheartedly with him. You have somebody up here, like, again, I don't know why black people does this. It's black people versus everybody. I don't know what you didn't take from that. Take from that is we need to build our own community. It says we are the only community that don't stick together and build each other, and that's why they come for us, because we are so divided. Which that is very true. We're going to get into that later on. One of the things I'm going to bring out is you have black people, they'll say, oh, you know, we shouldn't go to Target and Walmart. We should boycott it. Remember, everybody's supposed to be boycotting the corporate companies, but we're finding out there were black people that are still going to Target, still going to Starbucks, still going to Walmart. So my thing is, we can't just be saying this stuff online and then not actually doing it out in real life.
You shot a 14-year-old child in the back after incorrectly assuming he stole a bottle of water worth at most $1, but I'm willing to hear your side. Closing arguments wrapped up today in the Rick Chow case. Let's do a breakdown. The prosecution started closing arguments by asking a simple question: how much is a life worth? And if I personally had to put a number on it, I would dang sure say it's worth more than a bottle of water. So let's start with what really isn't in dispute. It's not disputed that Cyrus was 14 years old. It's not disputed that he walked into the store owned by the Chow family. It's not even disputed that he went over to where the waters were. It's not disputed that he had a gun on him, although the store owners did not know that at the time, and that's important. Put a pin in it, we'll get to that later, but that's pretty much where the agreement ends. The prosecution says that the Chows assumed that Cyrus, the 14-year-old, stole a bottle of water when he didn't, but I'll even give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they thought that he was acting suspiciously because he picked up a water bottle and put it back, something like that. Look, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but what I do know is there's been no evidence presented that he actually stole any water. I think it's clear he didn't, but they chased him out of the store because they assumed he did. Mind you, according to the evidence, the mama, the daddy, and the son all ran after him. So at this point, they left the store unattended, all three adults, to chase a 14-year-old boy who did not even steal anything. Right. So according to the prosecution, multiple witnesses described Cyrus running so hard that he actually came up out one of his shoes, his phone, his mom's phone. He dropped both of them. He hit the ground hard, scuffed up his body. The prosecution says he fell so hard that the gun that he was carrying actually fell out and a piece of it broke off. They say he picked it back up, he kept running, and he was shot in the back. Now, another thing the prosecution brought up is this store apparently has a whole wall dedicated to alleged shoplifters. They have pictures everywhere, so they even use facial recognition technology so that they can put you in a database. They're super serious about catching shoplifters. Okay, fine. But what happens when you're wrong? Because according to the prosecution, that's exactly what happened here. And at some point during the chase, Andy Chow, the store owner's son, is closer to Cyrus than Rick Chow is. Rick Chow is the daddy. So Andy, the son, says something to the effect of, "Dad, he's got a gun," and then boom, Rick Chow, the dad, fires, shoots, and kills Cyrus. Now let me tell you what I think happened. I think that the Chows deal with a lot of shoplifting, and I think that they're sensitive to it. I think a young black teenager walked into the store wearing a backpack, and they told him to take it off, and he complied. I didn't tell you that earlier. They told him to take his backpack off, and he said yes, and I think right off the bat, they were already suspicious. They were paying close attention to him. So he goes over to the waters, he touches them, he maneuvers them around, but he leaves, and he doesn't buy anything. They see a bulge in his hoodie, and they convince themselves that it's a bottle of water. Now, maybe that's because they deal with shoplifters all the time. Maybe racial bias plays a role. I don't know. I'm not in their heads, but I do think they convinced themselves that he stole something when he didn't. As a matter of fact, it's more likely that whatever that bulge was, if that was the weapon, whatever, it was there when he walked into the store. So they go after him. Cyrus, the 14-year-old, notices they're following, and then he takes off running. Now, could Cyrus have stopped running? Sure. But remember, Cyrus had a gun on him, a gun he wasn't supposed to have. He was 14 years old. Personally, I think that's the reason he ran. I think he knew he wasn't supposed to have that gun. He didn't want to get caught with it. So now you have a teenager running as fast as he can trying to get away. At some point he runs, he trips, he falls, the gun comes out, and I think this is where it goes wrong. Like, I do think that Andy Chow, the son of the Chows, saw the gun and said, "Dad, he's got a gun." And I think Rick Chow heard that and panicked and shot Cyrus. I think he assumed his son was in danger and fired the gun. The issue, though, is that in trying to protect his son, he killed somebody else's son. He killed Cyrus. Now, obviously, the defense sees things differently, and I want to present their side as well, because their argument is that Cyrus actually pointed the gun at Andy, and therefore Rick, the dad, was defending his son and is not guilty of murder. We'll cover that in the next video. You shot a 14...
She said it. I mean, that's okay. That's pretty much what I think. Somebody said people are worried about a kid having a gun when he's black, yet the white kid with a rifle seems to be normalized. That is one thing they say. Even Charlie Kirk was saying this too, that some people have to die by the name of the gun to prove a point. And he was all about having guns and protecting yourself. All these people on the Magna side, they all talk about having guns and things like that. People in America, we should be walking around guns for our protection. But then he can't have it. It's not just him. They don't think none of the black people should have guns. Just want to bring that out. Only them. This video doesn't cover my full thoughts on the case. To me, Cyrus running became super irrelevant as soon as I learned he wasn't stealing anything. And even if he was stealing a bottle of water, that still wouldn't justify him being chased, shot, and killed. Whether he ran because someone was chasing him or because he was a 14-year-old kid who didn't want to get caught with the gun, we will never know. No, we will never know. I was about to read this, but this is what I'm saying. You got people here that's asking a question, but I'm gonna read it. It says, it's the same ish. They kill our kids, then paint them as a monster to justify it. 14-year-old is a baby, a child. He was chased down and shot in the back, and now we expect to accept another verdict, another excuse, another explanation. Put a black lawyer in front of the cameras. Let him defend the outcome, and suddenly people are supposed to believe race, injustice, and community outrage aren't part of the conversation. A 14-year-old should be worrying about schools, friends, and growing up, not becoming a headline. Justice for Cyrus. So I don't know what this person here is saying. So I have a genuine question here. I cannot comment on this particular case because I don't know enough about it. But my question is, where is the outrage when for all the other senseless shootings? More weekend in Chicago, over 20 people shot and one with a little kid that got killed. No outrage. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was reading it. I was like, there's always somebody trying to spin the narrative. New York this year, 7-month-old baby shot in the head and killed in his stroller. No outrage. Prom shooting with death, graduation shooting with death, and nobody takes to the streets with these. Take any city on a weekly basis, LA, Chicago, Memphis, Louisiana, and look at what is going on in Florida with the takeovers. People getting shot. My question is, why isn't there outrage for those? How can people care for people in these areas don't care? This isn't for an argument, just curious. No, you're trying to say that this boy is not important because other people have gotten killed. That's really what you might not think that, but what you're trying to say is this is not important, that this 14-year-old boy got killed. That's what you're saying. This shouldn't matter because this is one person and this happens all the time. So we should be worrying about the takeovers, which I am going to make a video about the teenage takeover because people are concerned about that. So people have talked about it. Let's not act stupid. People have talked about these other killings. You see what I'm talking about? This is the issue that I have when people were talking about this case. So tensions erupt outside the former Rick Chow convenience store in Columbia, South Carolina after protesters gather following the non-guilty verdict in the shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Carmack-Belton. Excuse me. So it broke out.
Remember what we out here for, y'all. Remember what we out here for. But at the same time, motherfuckers,
Comments are just diabolical. I'm not reading it. The comics are just diabolical. Like nobody's really, they're just hearing, oh, he had a gun. He aimed at it. No, he never aimed the gun. These people are just crazy. None of this stuff happened in the store. None of this. He ran and the gun fell out of his pocket as he was running. Oh my God. I'm not even reading it. And look at his name. Look at this person's name. Keep in mind, these same people, I'm going to tell y'all something. These same people here, they be coming on our Twitch channels when I play video games, because I do have another gaming channel. These same people be trying to come and be in our Twitch chats, you know, and other black gamers will tell you this, and they want to befriend us, want to play games with us, and then we find out when we research on them, which we don't do anything with them. We'll just let them talk. And then eventually we'll block them because they're problematic. I've done it just recently again with somebody white. These people, they try to make it seem like they like us, but really they don't. Some of them, not all of them. And you kind of go through their page and you see what they promote. You know, I just recently blocked someone who was following my page, and they were Charlie Kirk. They were all for Charlie Kirk not being shot in the neck and stuff, which I said nobody deserved death, but they were talking about what he spoke about was right and all this other mess, and I was like, block. Why are you following me? So I just want to bring that out. When you see these type of, they're trying to say kill. He says, look at the name. Same people that's in the anime community will be going over here torturing young black women who are cosplaying. So I just want to bring that out. These same people want to come over there, be in your corner, be all up with you. But look at this. And he got his account private. Of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he got his account private with a name like that. Tells me what I need to know.
I'm not gonna say any word but lie. I'm mad. History has repeated itself. Latasha shot over orange juice. Cyrus over a bottle of water. You know why I fought? I fought me and you. Black people. We go to these corner stores where these people disrespect the women and the children, but they don't even respect the people who spending the dollars with them. But they family comfortable, right? Let's talk about how these people go to Walmart, Sam's, and Kroger's. Then they come back to the hood and they jack the prices up high. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact of the matter is why Rick was found now guilty. Why was that the verdict? Because black people like myself, we don't like to do jury duty. So why you think he's always gonna be free when he always look like CHOW?
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I don't know where black people is getting this from. Now, what she said was right, but it was 7 black people as a juror, and I think it was 4 or 5 as the white, because they were trying to say it was all white people. It was not all white people, and they were trying to say it was all Asian. It was not. It was actually 7 black people was on there. I think it was 4 or 5 white people, and then 1 Asian person. I just want to bring that out. That's not the reason why.
Rick Chow. Why you think so? Because guess what? The white man do the job for us. Either they gonna take us down in the street or they taking us down in court. We gotta start standing up for our community. We gotta start standing up against the traditional system. It's about us. This is sad. This has been a 36-year timeline. First it was a female, now it's a male. Y'all killing us behind what? What y'all killing us behind? And come to find out, these were 2 innocent children. Innocent children. Stop letting these people come into our community when they don't respect us. They not going to let us go to their community instead of fucking shop. They not going to let us come to their community and disrespect their women and children. And that's the whole problem. Maybe if we start taking a stand as women and not angry black women and not thug out ass black men and start really taking leadership and ownership, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't have to keep on burying our children because some other people are killing our children. And matter of fact, we got to stop killing our children. So until we start respecting us and our community, we just giving them our children.
That was something too that people are bringing out in the Black community. They were saying that we need to start supporting each other and we need to do a better job of our community as well. It's okay to talk about other people's communities, but they're about the shooting. Yes, this is wrong and injustice, but I do like the fact that people are bringing out, Black communities still do need to do a better job of having our own stuff and of how we raise our children, because we need to make sure that they're being protected. Don't go to a store with a gun. I'm not blaming him for that, but the problem is that's what they're using against him. We can't, they don't care. So we're going to have to retrain our kids on how the way we walk around, how we talk. And also just go to Black people stores, okay? At this point, like, that's how I feel, how things are going, because these people are still prejudiced of Black people. That I'm just saying.
I'm not going to say any word but lie.
Somebody said, what do these cases have in common? Got Trayvon Martin's, George Zimmerman, Cyrus Carmack-Belton, Rick Chow. Did someone say Rick Chow? What? Wait, what? Why? Okay, child. Latasha Harlins, and I think that name is... I think those names are wrong. But okay, child, y'all get what I'm saying. So they're just telling you the stories of all these Black children. They all have the same story, getting accused. Well, Trayvon Martin was getting accused of, I don't know, being weird, walking through a neighborhood, and he and his father lived there. And the other two stories as well with Latasha Harlins, she got shot by a Korean woman over her orange juice. So, yeah. So here again, stop supporting Asian-owned businesses. That's what everybody is saying. So I don't know if this is AI. I don't think it is. But they are saying that South Carolina Zero Mississippi. South Carolina's stress could be heard coming from there. So I think the store has been burned down. So yeah.
Okay, so the store is broken into, as y'all see. Water bottles. That's what the little boy died because of water bottle. He stole a water bottle. $0.89 water he lost his life for. That's crazy.
And then somebody said correction down here, because they didn't, because I think I already showed the video. I probably already did, because I had to redo these videos, but it showed that he put the water bottle back. He didn't steal a water. It says he didn't steal a water bottle. They falsely accused him of stealing a water bottle. So I suspect Rick Chow had already decided he was going to murder Chow when he took off after him. Also, that was the third time Chow shot someone over a suspect death.
Sorry for plenty of water bottles. Now water so free is crazy. Okay, so the store is...
So yeah, they already vandalized store. That store is gone. That's why I was wondering, I was like, what is he going to do? Why is he still trying to stay there? It was just weird to me.
Please be patient with me because there's so much here. I think the quick answer is that Asian Americans are given white privilege, especially the Asian Americans who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti-Black. I was talking with somebody last night who was pointing out that the Civil Rights Amendment was passed in 1964, but also in the 1960s, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration. So now you have an influx of racial minorities who knew nothing about the history of white violence against Black people, knew nothing about the Black civil rights movement. So they arrived with civil rights, not understanding how that came to be. And also it effectively erased the United States' own anti-Asian. Please be patient with me because there's so much here. I think the quick answer is that history, because Asian Americans came in not necessarily knowing about the Chinese Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II. And I think that Asian Americans are used as a buffer between the Black community and the white community, because in the 1960s, there was almost a racial reckoning. The white power structure almost had to face accountability for the history of violence against Black people. But instead, Asian Americans were inserted and were pit against each other, so that we're always up against each other, and that basically like white supremacy escapes accountability. And the example that I think of that sort of started like the root of a lot of tension is Asian Americans were buying into the negative history, because media stereotypes of Black people. And then in the events that led up to what became known as the LA riots, the LAPD kettled protests away from wealthy white neighborhoods and into Koreatown, and then they left. And we know how that played out. So again, the two communities being pitted against each other and away from the white power structure. And obviously the model minority myth is used to oppress the Black community. And there's so much here. I will be getting more into it, but I feel like that's the quickest answer that I can give that gets a little bit into the history. And I'm really curious to know what the Black community and Asian Americans feel about this. But please be patient with me.
She's sitting here, she's explaining that I don't see anything what she said was wrong. She was trying to, tell people, she was explaining to the person, why do Asian people hate Black people? And she was explaining that pretty much it started when they first migrated here. She's pretty much tell you what everything she needs to tell you. And how it all started is, I said it at the beginning. I don't know if I said it, but I'll say it. They are happy that you guys are fighting with the Asian people. Just want to let you know that. Same thing if you're fighting with the Latinos. The white people, certain white people, not all, they like this. And y'all are not understanding this. Y'all falling right into their trap. How I know this, the Black woman who was that spoke earlier, she talked about this, said that we need to stop being so she said it in a way that people didn't like it, but it is true. Black people tend to lean towards the ghetto terms, and I'm going to read this paragraph. It's just, this is ignorant over here, this paragraph. Why post this woman if you're going to speak ignorant? It says, everybody knows you don't give a AF about group economics, and you don't practice it. You ain't even got anti-Black hate bill. This is what the Black woman was talking about. You ain't even got an organization that fight for one for you. Everybody knows open up shop in Black ghettos and let them have a couple free Swisher Sweets and they'll love you forever. You ain't got the ability to boycott organize like your ancestors in there. Y'all let the Blacks who are a part of secret organizations come in and they're under oath to sell you out every time. Sign rappers aren't your leaders. They're entertainers, they're enslaved. You do know the fake Native Americans took an oath treaty to enslave you too, right? Child. Do I need to say any more? This is why I said we need to take things a little bit more seriously online. And we need to, if y'all going to take things seriously, y'all do need to be talking about opening up more businesses. Stop trying to have these little ghetto terms online. I like the videos that the other Black people have post, where they're explaining like we do need to have our own business, but we also need to build up our community as well. We need to support each other and not tear us down. And this whole, but having this little ignorant ass conversation here in this corner, oh Lord, y'all got Black people, we got to do better. So I can't play this, but weeks before Cyrus Carmack-Belton was killed, video shows Rick Chow attacking black teen girl during the store confrontation. I will be discussing that later on a little bit further, because he has a past, apparently, of putting hands and shooting at other people, especially black people. So he's a criminal. And so that's why the store is tore down, because he has a history of this. And I just want to know something. Like, somebody asked a question, why did the black people keep going here when they know that this was going on? Why did the black people kept going to the store? Are y'all going to go back to the store again? I just want to know. Are y'all going to go back to the store? Because the store is tore up now. He can come back and fix it. Are y'all going to go over there when things die down? I hope you guys don't go back over there. This is ridiculous, because they said that he has a history of doing this. I don't know where I'm going to put this at, where I'm going to put these videos at in the video. I mean, on the video that I already previously made, but I'm adding on more stuff to the video. So this South Carolina store owner who killed the teen previously shot at people he suspected of shoplifting, authorities said. Rick Chow's confrontation with customers in 2015 and 2018 did not meet the requirements under South Carolina law to support criminal charges, the Richland County Sheriff's Department said. So, yet again, the criminal charges couldn't be taken on him on those time frames as well. So let me play this video for you guys.
From to where he was shot in the back.
It's heartbreaking.
16-year-old Kevin Snyder was one of many adding flowers to a growing makeshift memorial for Cyrus. Snyder saying this incident hits close to home.
It really could have been me. It could have been anybody.
Leon Lott said it best that, a bottle of water should not have to take a person's life, especially a 14-year-old in our community.
A community now doing what they can to come together, but also outraged.
We already have one incident of a store owner, then the city and law officials need to do whatever they can to investigate that individual and make sure that it doesn't happen.
John Tyler is a community activist. He's referring to incidents like this caught on camera where the gas station owner Rick Chow appears to be fighting another young customer.
With this being not only his first but his third infraction as a store owner, me as an activist and a citizen want to know, why wasn't he stopped the second time?
District Councilwoman Gretchen Barron also coming to the gas station and memorial, saying the community just needs to support Cyrus's family for now.
They don't have their child. That's heartbreaking to me, that they don't have their child. So I want us to be able to really wrap our arms around this family first. And allow them to heal.
And also asking for a stop to the vandalism of the now boarded up convenience store after a night of looting. The sheriff now putting extra patrol there.
But if we've got deputies here watching this building, then they're not doing their job on the street. And now we're using resources that were not intended for this project.
And the Richland County Sheriff's Department is releasing new information about two prior incidents where Chow reportedly shot at his customers. The latest one happening in 2018 when Chow shot at a customer that assaulted him. Before that, in 2015, Chow reportedly shot at another customer he suspected of stealing. Chow says that customer left the gas station threatening him. Chow then ran behind him and shot at that individual's car 6 times. Luckily, in that incident, there were no injuries. Meanwhile, the community will be coming together for a prayer visual on Friday at Springtree Place in the parking lot right across the street from the gas station. Again, that'll be from 5 to 7 on Friday night. Reporting here in Richland County, I'm Ashley Jones, WIS News 10.
Okay, so as you can see, he has a pass. They knew this, and nobody cared. They didn't, they didn't care with it. And then the lady, I think that was the mayor, let me know if I'm wrong, she said, what was the deputies doing? They're not really doing their job. It's like nobody didn't really care. Like they just, this was because he was in a predominantly black neighborhood. And this is one of the things that people have been talking about. They're saying that they don't want Asian stores in their communities. They want them out. They want them out. I'm going to start showing you some videos where I don't know if I'm going to show them later on or now. I probably might show them later on or now. But yeah, they're saying they want these people out of their communities. This is what black people are saying online as of right now. So there is, like I said, there is black and Asian people talking about this. It's not just black people. So here talking about, what happened in South Carolina. Someone says, I am no one to tell anyone where to spend their money. However, if you think trying to boycott random Asian businesses you has nothing to do with Rick Chow is going to fix the problem, then you have to indeed become a part of the problem. This person here, I think what they mostly post things about black and Asian, so unite. This person has been trying to, unite black and Asians, but I don't think it's going to work. We have to boycott all Asian businesses worldwide, buying from them like we do him. Do not support Asian businesses at all. Someone said boycott, no more Asian nail salons. Black people, we should not be supporting with the Asian period for nothing. That's what everybody's been saying online. Rick Chow ain't got nothing to do with the Asian community in ATL. You ever think somebody is trying to push this black people versus Asian divide? Now, this is what someone said, and I believe this too. However, some of us still have common sense and not lumping all Asians with Rick Chow. So some people were saying here, like I've been saying for a long time on my channel, they want us to be divided. The ones who are, behind the scene, like a lot of people don't get it. This is being pushed. It says they, when I mean there's some white people that enjoy this. I just want to let you guys know that. I think I already showed it, but the white people were all going there to act like they were going to protect this man. They had all the policemen around him. But I'm going to tell you what happened to him later. That's why I had to add more. Said, do not support Asian business at all. Somebody said, I'm getting Korean barbecue later. Somebody said, no, I will continue to support them unapologetically. As a black man, I know Rick shows does not represent all Asians. They would be eradicate. Chow is Chinese, and there are many different Asian communities saying that. So there's some people who's not. Some people's like they know what's going on. Some other posts I've seen. I need to say this because I'm frustrated and honestly I'm tired. It's in my belly at this point. I respect and appreciate all cultures. I don't hate Asians, and I don't hate anybody because of their race. What bothers me is watching people take a tragedy and immediately turn it into another racial war online. This is not just online. I know people personally, face to face, out here in public. They do not like Asian people. You can tell when somebody does not like Asian people is how the way they talk about them. I know face to face, for years, there are a lot of people do not like Asian people. And we're going to get into that.
Black folks, focus. There's a difference between social media and there's a such thing as real life. Let me break it down. Black folks, I do not need y'all to react like racists react. Racist folks are known for grouping a group of people together and not blaming the individual, but yet the whole race. We're better than that. I'll tell you myself, one of my best friends is Korean. I dated a black and Korean girl. I grew up watching Kung Fu flicks. I absolutely have no problems with any Asians unless that individual has a problem with me. Then me and that individual will handle that. Same with Mexicans. I grew up around Mexicans. I know the racist ones and I know the good ones. You say Mexicans can't be racist? In El Paso they can, but not all of them. That individual that talks in your face and handle that. This situation with the Chinese black folks, focus.
I agree with him wholeheartedly. There's a narrative being spun that everybody who's Asian, you don't need to support them. You don't need to have anything with them. I had a feeling this conversation was going to come back up later on. I really did. Someone said, now let's move on to the Asians that are against Rick Chow and the division is causing. So this is also causing a division between the Asian community and the Asian community. Some are supporting him, and then some are not supporting him. Said they want Asian black people to hate each other, and I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not either. Somebody said I'm sick about Rick Chow. Cyrus deserves justice just as Latasha. I can't read it because it kind of cut off. Actually, they both deserve to live, to exist. We should have been, and still should forever be educated in our community and confront its anti-black racism.
It's on the backs of black civil rights leaders that so many of us were able to immigrate here. Exactly. This is what foreigners need to keep in mind too. Black people is not your enemy. Need to be calling each other out at every instance and putting ourselves in mind. No more white adjacent. I'm sick of it. They do not care about you. That is very true. That she said a very important thing. I've heard this a lot about Koreans who were speaking out against the Honda. About what was going on in the Honda. I don't know if y'all heard about the Honda incident down in ATL. They had Korean workers came over here from Korea. They helped them form a job in a rural area in Atlanta. And me and my friend Shelby, we were talking about it. And I was telling her what was going on. And she was like, you mean to tell me the Koreans came from their country, came to Georgia in a rural area, opened up a plant to help these people get jobs and stuff in the company. And somebody white called the plant, said there was illegal immigrants here. They had to get shipped back to South Carolina. Excuse me, not shipped. Excuse me. They had to get sent back to South Korea. This is what Asian people need to understand. Like, it's not us. It's not us. So it says, Washington Asian and African Americans go to each other on my feed while the real people benefiting from the division are sitting back laughing. I told you this. Throwing around racial slurs and enjoying the chaos. I've been seeing that. There are some people, like I state, Magnus voters that are enjoying this chaos. They think it's funny. There's white people chiming in, playing as Asian people. You're going to see this over here. Something, not over here, it's not this one. But there's a lot of people. They're upset. Yeah. So we're going to go on because
Cyrus Carmack-Belton, may he rest in power. He was horrifically murdered by being shot in the back after being chased over 100 yards. The man who murdered him is named Rick Chow, and he's a Chinese gas station owner, and he allegedly did it because of a stolen water bottle, and he was just found not guilty. A child being shot in the back is extremely upsetting for any reason, but it's even more upsetting because we live in a country that normalizes brutalizing black and brown bodies, that doesn't let black children have their innocence, and doesn't give justice to these black children. In this case, just further proves that. This case is also bringing up conversations about anti-black racism in the Asian American community, in the Chinese community, because despite all the work and fighting that black Americans have done to grant us the civil rights that we enjoy today, we have not shown up in solidarity in return to continue this work of undoing. Cyrus Carmack-Belton, may he rest in power.
Saw it in outrage. Many Asian Americans, particularly youth and community organizers, have strongly condemned the shooting. They argue that racial bias played a role in the incident and draw parallels to past tragedies, emphasizing the need to stand with black communities against anti-blackness and gun violence. Support for the store owner, other members, particularly older generations, and small business owners, argue that Chow was acting to defend his family and property. They expressed concern of the frequent theft, lack of security, and danger that small business owners face in a high crime neighborhood. And that's what one guy is saying. And I think I mentioned it earlier. Asian people think, especially Chinese, they think, like some of them, and I find out when I was on Red Note why they think of this of black people, some of them. They said they were brainwashed into thinking that when they see American shows, they think of black people as the criminals. That was what was portrayed over there to them. Until, social media got on the rise and they started doing their own research, they finding out not all black people are criminals. Not all those black people who have class. So they've been brainwashed into thinking that black people are the problem and that we need to be scared of them. But what they don't understand is, and some Asian people have figured it out, this feeds racism, this feeds prejudice. I don't even care if you two hears it. I'm going to say racism. Someone said, has stated before, not all Asians are in support of Rick Chow. Some are and some aren't. Just like not all black people are going against Asians. Learn to separate the two. So, this is another thing. People were saying that there was a bunch of white jurors on there. And I had this conversation with my friend just like 3 hours ago. The 12-person panel include black jurors, 7, reported to include 3 black men and 4 black women across the various reports. I saw that, which was very alarming. A lot of people have been posting this. White jurors, 4. Hispanic and Asian jurors, 1, making up the final member of the panel. The diverse panel of men and women delivered and found Chow, who is Asian, not guilty of murder following the 2023 shooting of 14-year-old Cyrus. For ongoing coverage of the trial's aftermath, you can visit. Besides being outraged at Rick Chow for killing Cypress, we should also focus on why Rick Chow is free to begin with. Pay attention to who was a part of the jurors. It's very telling. There was only one person for the Hispanics and Asian. This is very telling. So this is not the only person who's been showing this. I was shocked by that. I thought everybody thought it was white people. It was only 4 white people. Now we also like to acknowledge this as well because it has been brought up many times and it's just as much as a problem as Rick Chow being free. But if he was black, he would have never been protected like this. There's a lot of scenario black on black crime. I've talked about this. There's more white on white crime than anything, but they always try to say that it's more of black on black crime. And they also try to say, and I talked about this before in my videos about Charlie Kirk. He was saying that black people kill each other more, which I proved that wrong. It's actually white people kill more of black people. The statistics is online. This is not made up. Defendant Antoine Wonston charged murder, assault, elder abuse. Verdict: found guilty of entire manslaughter and assault with deadly weapon, acquitted of murder and elder abuse. Family reaction: the family expressed pain and disappointment, feeling the verdict did not deliver justice, especially as the attack was not prosecuted as a hate crime. Sentencing: Washington received probation and was released, having served time, which further angered their family. So this is what I'm saying. Yet again, people are bringing up that there's black people too that harm Asians. But I don't know if I showed it, but I'll show it after this, that there's more white people that harm Asian people the most versus black people. So going back to Rick Chow's case, someone made this comment and I wanted to address this. Is in fact actually has happened. I think it's Antoine Wonston served absolutely no prison time. Seattle man found not guilty by reason of insanity in 2023 killing of a pregnant woman. Another incident where the justice system failed someone when Cordell Gibson was not found guilty of killing and her unborn child in an unprovoked attack, despite Gibson admitting to killing her. This was in 2026. And then there's these kind of people, the ones that aren't black or Asian, but have an opinion and is using it as an opportunity to try and bond with black or Asian, help stir up things that we don't need help. This is where I got mad. I got very angry. Got very angry at this.
Well, off to the store. Wait, should I bring this weapon with me? No, I'm only 14. Why would I be carrying a weapon around? Okay. Do I want this water bottle? Should I steal this? Nah, I wouldn't do that. I'm only 14. Why would I steal stuff? Who does that? Well, since I didn't buy anything, I'll just leave the store.
Hey, stop right there. You stole water bottle.
Oh.
Yeah, you stole. I saw.
No, I didn't steal anything.
Okay. Yeah, empty your pocket.
You my pockets?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Here's the inside of my pockets. Look, nothing. Inside my pants.
Oh,
nothing.
You know what? I'm so sorry. I thought you stole.
Oh, no problem. I understand.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Hurry up and buy.
Well,
hurry up and buy.
To the store.
That's a little joke. Hurry up and buy. People are probably laughing at this. Look at this. Don't steal and carry guns. From what I understand, Cyrus Point said gun at Chow's son, which is when Chow opens fire. This is what I said. People are laughing, y'all. They are laughing at the Asian and the black people right now. This is not funny. This is the robber had a gun. The jury got it right. My outrage is everyone is equally. Latasha Hearn was failed. Trayvon Martin was failed. Cyrus Carmack-Belton was failed. Grandpa Beecher was failed. Elena Kwan was failed. Jasper Wu was failed. And sadly, this list goes on. And then this is, I don't know if y'all heard this girl here, but this is Latasha Hearns, The event in different cities dedicates 2 black youths into a convenience store, one for juice, one for water. Hers happened, I think, in the 90s. Yeah, in the 90s with a Korean woman. So during the confrontation with the store owner, one turned away, but the other fled. Both were shot. The outcome, justice system failed to convict either store owner of murder. Both avoided prison sentence. So different stories, same path. Young people. One was 15 and one was 14. So, yeah. And this is R.I.P. to Jasper Wu. Jasper Wu suspect charged in I-80 freeway shooting death of toddler now eligible for parole. 2 suspects facing murder charge in the death of a toddler appeared in an Oakland courtroom Thursday. So, 23 months old, Jasper Wu was killed in a stray bullet while he and his family were driving on the interstate. So he got a stray bullet on the interstate. Now that one, that's a little different because nobody was targeting him. So I don't know about that. I'm sad that he did lost his life, but that story is a little bit different. Now I don't know if I show at the beginning, but basically it says here, scholars have challenged this Black Asian conflict narrative by highlighting that white perpetrators committed over 75% of anti-Asian hate crime. Just want to let you guys know that was during that was a scholar challenge it, because at the time frame people were looking at COVID-19 and they were saying, oh, all these black people, they're attacking the Asian people. That was the narrative that was being spun during COVID-19.
You're a fucking idiot and an embarrassment to the Asian community for spewing this bullshit. People like you who side with injustice and anti-blackness should be ashamed of yourselves. If you're going to speak on this case, at least speak facts instead of talking out of your ass. As the footage shows, Cyrus took 4 water bottles, changed his mind, and put them back in the fridge. There was no theft. Not only that, but as Cyrus was being chased by those 2 scumbags, multiple items fell from his possession, including his gun. He had no weapon when he was shot, and at no point did he pull a gun on anyone. There was no robbery. There was no assault. Those are the facts. And for the people asking, why does a 14-year-old need a gun? The answer is right in front of you. Because a 14-year-old was shot dead in the streets, despite doing absolutely nothing wrong. He never got the chance to go home. The system continues to fail black people, but especially black children. There is no denying that. When we have case after case showcasing us that. Cyrus Carmack-Belton, Latasha Harlins, Trayvon Martin, and countless others. Yes, some of you Asian sellouts would rather bend over backwards, making excuses than confront the reality in front of you. Same people who are quick to say stop Asian hate, or ask what about when black people do this to us, suddenly have every excuse in the world when a black child is the victim. Black people are constantly treated as suspects, criminals, and villains, even when they're the ones who have been harmed. I am disgusted and embarrassed by every single person trying to justify this. 14-year-old should have never lost his life over 4 water bottles worth $1. He deserved to go home. He deserved to grow up. He deserved justice. Not to mention, this was the 3rd time Rick Chow fired his gun during confrontation. And y'all really want us to believe that piece of shit was innocent? Rick Chow is guilty. Justice was not served. 14-year-old child is dead. And people are still trying to make excuses for it. The black community has every right to be angry. Quite frankly, the Asian community needs to stop dodging conversations about anti-blackness whenever they become uncomfortable. We cannot demand solidarity from the black community while refusing to hold our community accountable when harm is done. If it weren't for the black community advocating for civil rights and helping pave the way for many of us for protections and opportunities we benefit from today, Asian Americans would not be where we are. It is only right we use our voices to speak up, stand up against injustice, and hold our own communities accountable when harm is being done. That's what solidarity looks like. There's nothing you can ever say to justify a child losing his life over bottles of water that he didn't even steal. This is unacceptable, and I will continue calling it out every single time. Rest in power, Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Justice for Cyrus Carmack-Belton and his family.
Ooh, sure. So this was Jasmine. My goodness. She had a lot to say. So I want to just talk about this real quick. Like it says, this is the first Asian I've seen defending us. I really, not gonna lie, that's crazy because when white America didn't want their shops in their neighborhoods, they opened shops in ours and we supported them and lifted them up. But no one else will for years. America put them in concentration camps, not black people. We never dropped nukes or bombs on them or anybody. We have never did anything to Asian community but show love. So how and why do they choose to hate us? Not hate, the very people who tried to erase y'all. There's a lot of Asians standing up for him, myself included. But to say black people have never done anything bad to Asian community, you need to do more research. I don't know. I was trying to give him a heart here, trying to give the heart to him. But anyway, so this person said block, hang them, bomb them, burn down their houses or businesses unprovoked, deny them access to higher education. If the answer to the questions are no, then your argument has no merit. That's why I block him, because what is even he talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't ask you to DICK me, sir. I don't give a lovely F what you're talking about, and it's F you too disrespectfully. Black people has never done anything to y'all. Bye. We have proof of this. They have killed, Asian people. Like I say, the rate is real low. Now, I kind of clicked on this person. I'm a little confused. But I guess he says that, so this person is for, and I see that they're followed by Black and Asian Souls Unite, Asians for Black Lives, Asian and Black Unity. So they preach that as well. I think there's a lot of confusion where Black people are saying that we never harm Asian. Yes, we have. There are some of us that have done this too. But it says, this person here, this one let you know, they were talking about written awareness. They also talk about how they wanted to support the Black people, all of that. They're not really getting pushed that much. I just want you guys to see that.
A lot of Asian people are hurting. We watch elderly Asian people get attacked. We watch store owners get robbed. We watch kids get bullied. We watch innocent Asians get killed. And a lot of people feel like when Asians are the victims, nobody gives a fuck. So when they hear that Cyrus had a gun, they immediately say, oh, what if he was about to hurt somebody? What if the store owner saved somebody from getting robbed or killed? I get it. That's fear. That's frustration. And it's real. And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of Asian people are fed up. But here's where I stand. We can't judge people on what we think they might do. We gotta judge the situation on what actually happened. And what actually happened is Cyrus did not steal anything and he did not pull a gun out in the store. So when the store owner and his son ran outside and chased Cyrus, that changed everything. Because once you start chasing somebody, you turn something that could have ended with an argument into something where someone dies. And that's exactly what happened. This ain't Black versus Asian, and this ain't Asian versus Black. Both communities know what it feels like to be ignored. And this is my position. It's simple. If an elderly Asian gets attacked, I want accountability. When a Black kid gets killed and he ain't no immediate threat, I want accountability. My principles don't change depending on somebody's skin color. And it shouldn't change for y'all either. To my Black folks, y'all gotta acknowledge the fear that the Asian people feel. And to my Asian folks,
didn't I tell you? I told you this is what a Chinese woman said over there on Random. I wish I can find it, but this is what she said. They have been brainwashed into thinking that Black people are the criminals and Black people, all of them wants to harm. That is what they're thought. But what they don't understand, she said that, but she realized that leads to prejudice. That leads to racism. That's how hate starts. It starts off with fear. It starts off with jealousy. That's what it goes. Eventually, that's what it leads to if we don't control it.
Folks, y'all gotta be able to judge a person based on facts and not emotions. And that's where I stand. Rest in peace to Cyrus. And again, my condolences to the family. Y'all, stop arguing, man. A lot of...
So this person said, the people in the comments trying to find any reason to justify what happened are delusional. The facts are the kid didn't steal anything and the store owner and his son should have stayed in the store. If they felt the kid stole something, they should have called the law. That's what we pay our tax dollars for. The store owner has 3 other situations similar to this, so stop with the excuses. So yeah, we did stop with the excuses on that, man. I mean, I did show you receipts. And someone says, see, your comment didn't include any racial nor color remarks. That's what people should be writing about. How did they find out he had one? Oh. Why are you concerned? She must have been responding to someone and they delete their comment. Said, why are you concerned with what the kid did before going into the store? Stop blaming the victim. Your series of bad decisions because you know what the kid right. You know that kid right. Again, accountability. If they had stayed in the store, they would have never known he had a gun, period. He was shot in the back. He stole nothing and was hunted down. Go read a book. And someone came down here and told her facts. See? Same thing. Same thing. And she has to keep telling them. So, same thing. And this is where the black, the white, the Asian people, they think that the white people is on their side. Like some of them think that. I want you guys to see that. This guy clearly thinks that black people are the problem because they're brainwashed into this thinking.
My good Asian siblings, I'm tired that the white man's tactics keep working on us. They always treat us like the perpetual foreigner. You see how they did us during COVID, Chinese Exclusion Act, concentration camps, now icing our neighborhoods. We try to break this label by assimilating and emulating the white man model of success. We worship their institutions, their titles of prestige and salaries. They block us from going to these institutions. Then white men use the Asians as the face of the movement to dismantle affirmative action. And we get admitted even less now amongst other marginalized communities. Why are we fighting so hard to be part of an institution that doesn't want us there to begin with? Then they give us symbolic victories like the Stop Asian Hate Crime Bill, which there is Asian hate, but when other communities are also getting brutalized and there's nothing but silence, this victory just becomes another point of tension devised by the white man to separate us from everybody else. And then we see some of us physically doing the white man's bidding, emulating the racism, anti-blackness, violence, to the point where we're taking people's lives. Then the white man let us walk free. Why? To continue to divide us and other marginalized communities. It's all part of the Grand Master Plan to reinforce these institutions and systems that the white man has created to maintain their power and control over everybody else. Do not be a white devil in Asian skin. Do not fall for the white man tactics. My good Asian siblings, I'm tired that the white man's tactics keep working on us. They always treat us like the
cops protecting this store. This is what happened. The video shows police surrounding Rick Chow's gas station following his acquittal in the fatal shooting of the 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. We still gonna burn the store down. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do. But like I said, this looks like a predominantly black neighborhood. How are they gonna survive? I'm just asking, what are they gonna do? What are their plans? It's very funny how they will protect a gas station more than they protect a black life. And this is why they brought about, even though the Black Lives Matter movement, I did saw a lot of weird people using it as a scam to scam people out of money. But this is a very situation here. Yet again, we're going to have another discussion about Asians versus black. You know, you're going to have that discussion again. You're going to also have the discussion again on white versus black. Magna is going to be coming out. So it just fuels a lot of hate and tension between races, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to, yet again, the narrative, don't spend any money with Asian people. This is what people are beginning to say back again online. Even my brother, he was talking about nobody likes black people. So I'm just saying it's going to fuel nothing but hate. And this is what they want. You know, this is how they keep everybody separated. But I wouldn't shop at this store. And I don't know what he's going to do, but he better look over his back. So I gotta say, Rick Chow better look over his back because these people are out for blood. And because you killed an innocent young boy. You killed an innocent young man. So I saw the tapes. You guys ran him down. So there was no use for this. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment area. But as for now, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Now what you in a rush for? What you trying to meet your maker, darling?